everyone, and welcome to Transfiguration 103 week 4. So on the last week we put in our scrap yarn for the thumb gusset, and this week we're going to just continue that finger section and worry about the thumb in week 5. So all you have to do this week is continue working the scale pattern for a total of 5 more repeats, or until it's as long enough as you need it. How I'd gauge it is by putting your thumb by here and seeing how far it goes up, your fingers here. If 5 repeats is too much, if it's not enough, you're going to just have to measure it on yourself and gauge it there. And then you're going to have to bind off. So there is no specialty end here. I might actually just do, so that it looks a little symmetrical, I might do the seed stitch for 3 rows like they did for the beginning of the pattern. So here it says work 3 rounds of seed stitch. I might put in 3 rounds of seed stitch just so that it looks symmetrical. You don't have to. And then it's going to be binding off. Now there's a couple different ways to bind off, and I'm going to go and work on knitting these scale gloves and show you how I'd like to bind off. Alright, pause the video here and knit those 5 rows. If you want to knit 3 of seed stitch, you can. If not, I'll show you how to bind off. Alright, so I'm going to work off of both mitts now, and I'm going to show you 2 different cast off methods. They're both stretchy cast offs or bind offs. You can tell it's Sunday around here. The motorcycles are out all the time. The first way I'm going to show you is called a Russian cast off. This I actually just learned the other day, and it's been awesome. So you're going to knit 2. You're going to slide these 2 stitches back to your left hand needle. And then you're going to knit 2 together. And then you're going to knit 1. Slide both stitches back. And knit 2 together. And then you're going to continue knitting 1, sliding both back, and knitting 2 together. This is probably the easier of the 2 bind offs that I'm going to show you today. So if you want to just keep doing that one, you can. Just continue going around, and then you'll be done with your bind off. The other method is one where it mirrors the long edge cast on. I actually like doing this one because I just like the fact that it's like you're sewing it shut. So I have my darning needle or tapestry needle, whichever one you have, and they suggest taking 3 times the amount of yarn than the project. Alright, I'm going to just snip that yarn there. And I'm going to thread my needle. Okay. And this cast off, I forget what it's called, but it's named after somebody. It's not something that I can remember easily off the top of my head. So what you're going to do is you're going to slip through the stitches, you're going to slip through 2 stitches purlwise, and you're going to pull tight. Well, not too tight, but, and that actually got caught on that needle. Alright. You're going to slip through this one knitwise, and then you're going to slip that first stitch off. And then you're going to keep doing slip through 2 purlwise, pull tight, and then slip through that top one, knit. And slip that one off, purl, oops, and knit. Alright, so this is that cast on, or bind off I should say. I don't know why I keep saying cast on, it's cast off. Oops, let me put it down in the camera. So it looks like the long edge cast on method, and they're very similar. This is going to be a little bit of a stretchy cast off, if you do it loosely enough. And then again the Russian one, so, which is a very interesting way to cast off. So finish binding off. I'm going to pause the video here and I'm going to finish binding off everything and then show you how to finish and make it nice with the last one. Alright, so I'm going to start with the Russian cast off. So I have 1 stitch left here on the needles. Sorry, I was just making it so that's facing the correct way because I had it fall off. So what I do is I knit the last stitch. Alright, pull yarn, the length of yarn through a couple of inches, and I just snip this here and pull out the ball yarn. Alright, but then you have this unsightly, like, I don't know, this just looks terrible, right? So what I do is I take my needle here, tapestry or darning, or you could even do a crochet hook if you want. And what I do is I try to find that first bind off stitch, which is going to be right here. So that's going to be my bind off stitch. And I'm going to just sneak this yarn through and pull it tight. And now there's no more unsightly pull, I guess is the correct word to use. And then what I do is I just flip it inside out and I sort of just weave it in there, the end. Ooh, popped off the needle, have to rethread it. So I'll just kind of go and pick up random stitches and oops, I didn't even see any of that. I definitely like the purl ones better because you can weave in and out of those nicely. Alright, that should be enough. Just pull it through. I stretch it out before I cut it. And then just snip that off. So if you did the Russian join, you now have most of a fingerless glove. And that's how it looks. Alright, now I'm gonna go and do the one that you that's named after somebody. So go and thread my needle again. Alright, so you went through knit through that last one. So we can't go through purl and then knit on this one, so I just go through as a knit stitch and just pull it through. And it's gonna be around the same thing, as you kind of want to find that first stitch and pull it through to sort of get it to stay. This one I'd actually go back through that loop and down. So what you're basically doing is just sewing it shut. Alright, so I actually added a nice stitch in there. You would never know, right? And then it's the same thing of just going through and picking up stitches and weaving in, and I just kind of do it at random. Alright. Finish pulling through. And it's okay to pull tight, because I always say before I cut the yarn is to stretch it out. And then just snip that. And again, so there's no thumb hole in this one. Oops. You know, I have my fingerless mitt there. Alright, and that's it for week 5, I believe, or is it 4? Week 4. That's it for week 4. And week 5, we're going to finish up the thumbs on both gloves. Alright, I'll see you next week.